Alright guys, welcome back to the homestead. Today's project is changing the sand in the sand filter. Now I guess there's a bunch of controversy or whatnot. People say the sand goes bad. I say it gets contaminated because the pool is still green, and from what I can look up, that's the problem. Some people say just let it run and run and run until it clears up. That's a lot of money in electric, and sand is cheaper. I can't tell how much the thing holds because it has like 5 models in there and it says a different amount. So I just bought the highest amount and I'll just take the extra back because it comes 50-pound bags. We got our sunshade up. It's not sunny, but it is gonna rain sometime. And humidity's like 100%. What we got, here's the setup. This pipe here is probably never gonna come off in one piece. So I bought 2 foot, which now that looks about 3 foot, unfortunately. 2 foot may work, which I may check that real quick because the hardware store does close. And then I have to cut that, and I got there's no pressure on it because that's the outflow. And the plan is this winter into spring, we're gonna build a little tiny pump shed, pool shed over there to house all this stuff, to get it out of the elements. And then we'll just 90 down, out, over, and we'll put shut-off valves. I got a bathtub stopper here. We're gonna plop it down in the hole, boop, and try to stop some of the water from overflowing out. Take the hose clamps off, put it up over the side. We'll put it through that or some kind of clamp. Same thing with that. We'll throw it over there, keep the water from running out. And then we just gotta take the drain plug off the bottom, let it run out, undo our bolts, and cut our hoses. And that's about it. Now let me check and see if that clear pipe we got will fit. I can already tell it ain't long enough. Not by a long shot. Man. This has got to come out and it's got to go down. So yeah, means I'd have to run to the... I'd like to get this off anyway just to make sure the size is right, because it may not be the right size. This stuff is pretty thick. The outside diameter might be right, but since it's so thick, this could be wrong. So let's see if we can get these other hoses up and out without too much water pouring out. Because water and electric is expensive. Even though it's been raining like crazy. Get this hose clamp off of here. An easy way to take hose clamps off, if you just take your bit holder out of your screwdriver, it's that size. It's like a nut driver. That's pretty handy. Okay, we got the one end up out of there. Next we got to try to get this off and up and over too. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, it's coming. Alright. That was not too bad. We didn't lose hardly any water out of the pool. Okay, then on the back side, bottom, I'll take you over there. Unfortunately, I did not grab my pliers, now think about it. But down here, I had to make this plug. We'll have to get our pliers and take that off, and it'll drain this out. So as when I run to the hardware store, we'll let that seep out. We'll make sure, I'm gonna get a tape measure and measure that. It's probably about 3 foot now to look at it. But I'll also take this off so I can get the right inside diameter. And I'll catch you guys back after I get from the hardware store. All right, I got the pipe cut. I was taking the bolts off down here. It's just, when you tighten them back up, make sure you don't tighten them too much. It's like half a turn or something. I do have my little pump going. The one we built has a sweeper. Crazy thing is the sun's starting to come out, but it is gonna rain. Like 90% chance of rain coming. Alright, let's see how hard this is to get off of here. Oh, alright, never mind. It just comes right up off there. And there's a little bit of there's a gasket in here that looks like it sits down on this thing. It looks pretty decent. What we'll do is we'll put a little O-ring seal on there. Now, where is the sand? Oh yeah, the sand looks super ass poopy. Let's see if I got a light. I got a flashlight. There's so much trash in the sand. I mean, there's like tons of trash in there. Ants and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it is pretty poops. Now, you want to be careful because there's laterals off of this. They're little, like, I'll just call it like roots, like a tree. And depending on how old your filter is, they're going to be brittle from, I just want to say, like acidity, alkalinity. So that just goes to show you, people say you never have to change your sand, but man, you can see how dirty that sand is. My plan is to roll it over on its side, and I'm going to slowly use the hose and kind of hose and hope the stuff rolls out. Alright, I just have it on shower now. Want to be easy with your laterals. See, the sand's just running out. It's gonna take a little bit, but then when we go to put sand in, we gotta make sure we put that little pipe inside. We have to block it off so sand can't go down in there. It's just gonna shoot back in your pool. And as you can see, the sand's just running out. This one doesn't give you much opening at all. Like, literally have no opening. This will take a little bit of water, but not as much as you think. This is working pretty good. Look at this. You can see all the junk just rolling out of that thing. All the clumps of crap and all that. So everybody says your sand goes bad. I just say it gets contaminated. And it's contaminated with just so much junk. It's just having a hard time to filter anything else. It's just junk on top of junk. So. The sand is not terribly expensive. You want to make sure you get filtered sand. I got Quikrete sand. It's filtered for pools, and it's $9 for 50 pounds, which that's my local hardware store. So they're going to be more than probably Lowe's. But with gas and everything, and Lowe's is out of my way, the difference in cost isn't going to matter, because it helps out my local hardware store, and they help me out a good bit. But yeah, all the sand's coming out. And we can tilt it a little more. Alright, let me take a look. Oh, there's still a good bit in there. I'd say we're about 3/4 empty. So I'll come back when we're emptied. I'm gonna fast forward through a bunch of this, but. Alright guys, we got just about all the sand out. There's like a couple spoonfuls down in there. So it's looking pretty good. The laterals don't look bad. I don't see no cracked ones. These are just Now, there is a plug right there. It has sort of like a snap ring thing. You could probably take it out, and that'd be a really slow process of sand coming out. But now we're gonna add sand. But what we want to do is, and then we have to make sure we get it to where it fits just right. Now I found out that little basket piece comes off. So technically, you pull this basket piece off, it gives you more room. I was just kind of went full retard there for a minute. So you have that much room, which is not bad. So you could get a wet dry vac in here and vacuum out a decent amount. If you know you're going to change it, you could let it sit for you know, a couple days with the plug out in winter time or right before you open the pool. But I'm so glad that I decided to do it. I didn't want to do it for the longest time, and I decided to pull the trigger. And man, the sand that came out of there was like litter box, like this terrible. So you're gonna have to make your own judgment call on that. I didn't do it. I wanted to do it last year, and people tell me, oh, I've had mine for 20 years and no problems, but I don't know how long that's been in there, but that's terrible. So what you want to do, you want to make sure you plug that little pipe up. You don't want to get no sand down in there. So we'll get something plugged in there. Alright, I put the lid back on my pump. I don't want to get sand in there. I got a towel shoved in here, and then I got me a little thing I'm going to use to scoop some sand in, because I just don't want to dump it in there. If I had another person with me, they could probably hold the lateral up and over, and I could slowly pour it. But right now it's just me. This stuff's like a gray. That stuff is like a sand. You just go to the sand pit and get it, like a quarry or something, or not pool sand. They cheaped out, I think. Which is actually, I think that could be easy for me, because I don't want to be here for 2 years. If I spill a little bit, no big deal, because I have freaking 250 pounds of it. And we'll get some water spray in there, and it should level the sand out a bit. Just pour slow. Some laterals are pretty fragile. Now, if you think ahead of time, get yourself a piece of pipe that's the same size, and you can stick it on it all the way up, and then that'll help a lot. Now, that looks fairly centered. Alright, I'm going to put that cup on side over top so the sand can hit it and go off of it. Alright. Actually, that worked pretty good. I was able to pour all the way around it. There's no way I took this much sand out. I see why it's leaking. These bags, they're like a little, this little blue thing's tucked in. It's like a spout. Like a pour spout. That's kind of interesting. We'll see how it works. It does not work that good. Yeah, I'll pass on that. Okay, so we are about yay far from the top of the pipe. Does not seem too bad to me. Here's our other piece that goes in. We're gonna put our basket in. Just slips down over top the other one. Goes right down in there. There we go. And then here's the other piece that goes down over that. All right guys, the pipe in the center, my spacing was off a little bit. I was up a little high. So I just trimmed a little bit off the top of it so that this could fit down in here. Because there's no way I was moving and messing with all that sand just to not trim a little bit off of it. Now before we put the bolts in, we gotta get our fitting on. Let's make sure there's not really any junk, which doesn't really matter. Slide on one way, the other way, then it'll just go over this. Alright, so that's pretty good. So let's double check our O-ring. Our O-ring is good. Boom. Let's get the bolts in. The hose I could replace the other hose with is this hose. It's pretty dang thick. The hose that was on there was some white. I got it probably laying around. Here's a hose that was laying on there. It's kind of thin and it feels like it's concrete brittle. Size of these are 1/2 inch. Like anything you put back together, you want to make sure you hand start all of them before you tighten any of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the lid here. There's a big air bubble in the system. Water should start to come out here in a second. It's got to work its way down through the pipe. Oh, well, I got the stopper in there. Alright. The bathroom stopper worked. Make sure you take it back out before you start your pump or it's going to suck it down through there. Okay. Stopper's out. Hose is hooked up. Hose hooked to the pump. Pump's got water in it. All the way up to the hose a bit. Sand's in. Bolts are on. That's in. Coupling's on. We're in. That's not bolted down, but I gotta do something with that after a bit. Hopefully I don't get shot the shit out of me. Let's plug this guy in. The wind is trying to blow my tent away. All right. You can pull this out for a second. It'll suck a lot better for a minute. And the pump's pretty decent. It's got good suction. Yeah, there it goes. See, it's starting to suck real good there. Yeah, it's got a little bit of air bubble in there. It's sucking the water on up. We got the water shooting out. I mean, I don't feel no gritty sand or nothing. I'll put my basket back in. I don't want to get junk in there. But I don't see no water shooting out anywhere, so I kind of like the clear hose, honestly. It's kind of neat. Almost tempted to do the rest in clear hose just so I can see what's going on. As you can see, the wind has kicked up. Just trying to take my little tent away. Which down here in the south, if it's pretty overcast, the sun comes out, or it gets super windy and almost a tornado, or a tornado. So let me get all my crap cleared up. I gotta get this edited and all kinds of stuff. I did not take a cover photo, but as always, guys, I appreciate you for watching my crazy videos. It worked out. The sand that come out, here's the sand that came out. I'm gonna say that's like, man, that's probably one bag of sand, maybe a bag and a half. Like, It's not even the same sand, so whoever did it just used some cheap playground sand or something. And man, it was full. It looked like a litter box in there. So, I mean, you can see we're zipping through here pretty good. It's zipping on down in there. I still got my little vacuum going. We're shooting out. So hopefully this clears up in a couple hours, maybe by morning. I'll be happy. Wife will be happy. So appreciate you guys for watching, like and subscribe. We do have plenty of more projects. Chicken house needs its roof done, and the goats for full winter are gonna need a nice little house for them. Forgive my hair, because apparently no barbers are open anymore. I've been to 5 different ones today and no one's open. So. Oh well, I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe.